Hey, it's Mariah May. You may know me as The Glamour, and you're watching Unpopular Review.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review, the wrestling review show, Raw and Smackdown review. I am your host, Eric Consultant, joined today by my co-host, none other than Vic, the Mark Vic, and Bad Guy Jack won't be joining us, but we do have a special guest for you, from Mondays, 6 o'clock p.m., the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, the Mike Knox Show. Please welcome Mike Knox. Mr. Knox, what's good?
What's going on, fellas? Glad to be here.
We're happy to have you here to talk some Raw and SmackDown with us. But I didn't even ask Vic. Vic, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic, man.
It's always good to hear. And I didn't even set up my notes. That is a damn shame, right?
Professionalism. Where's the professionalism?
I know. That is bad. If I remember correctly, no, I'm not even going to try to raw dog it. That's how I had kids.
As long as you're not raw dogging randoms, you're okay.
Yeah, you can learn that the hard way too. Let's see.
Man, so what are we talking about? So follow, subscribe. You got Unpopular Review Instagram, Unpopular Review TikTok, Unpopular Review Paramount. Wherever there's social media, we're going to try to find a way to get on there, okay? So if you're there, we're going to be there too. So if you got something new out there, hell, if you're still on Petrus and it's worth it, let us know because we'll make a Petrus. Oh, that's it, right?
I will say this. I'm happy to say that this is the first time ever a wrestling show of Unpopular Review has been live on Instagram. So thank you, everybody who's watching us on Instagram. We greatly appreciate it. Let's look at some of these comments right now. Jeffrey saying, what's up? What's going on? Dice Europe.
Yeah.
Captain Shay says A, and Jeffrey says congratulations again on 1,000 subscribers, 1,007 currently and growing. All right, let's take a look at it. The first thing we're going to talk about is the person who opened up Monday Night Raw was none other than main event-ish Jey Uso, who came out with his. I don't know if anybody noticed this, and normally I talk about this. The only person who really cares is the technician, David Sanderson. They changed his song. They changed his entrance music, and you bopping down there. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yes, because my kids noticed it. I'm not that kind of a person that can figure that kind of stuff out, but I got children that go, what, hey? So.
Yeah, they kind of rushed it now. He used to go out there and could take his time, get on the turnbuckle, do a few of these and a few of these. Now he comes out there and he somewhat runs the turnbuckles and starts doing this. They're like, hey, let's just cut to the meat and potatoes. But came out there, welcome everybody to Monday Night Raw. This leads to Drew McIntyre coming out, explaining once again why he's so fixated on the man who did not cost him his championship match at Clash of the Castle. And this leads to a match between the two of them, which, of course, once again, main event Jey Uso takes the L to Drew McIntyre, who says, hey, I'm still the same guy. You know, I'm not turning into an asshole. It's just this is my belief. The man did not apologize. He needs to be taken out. If you like me, so be it. If not, so be it. This kind of reminds me of Diesel's heel run right before he left the WWE. Vic, we'll start with you when it comes to your thoughts when it comes to Drew McIntyre, main event Jey Uso, as well as this match.
Well, when it comes to that, it's just basically solidifying Jey Uso as a babyface and Drew McIntyre as a heel. That slow heel burn that's coming with Drew McIntyre. It fits the storyline. It fits just everything. I'm just curious to see what the long-term effects of this is going to be, because if he stays strapless with this whole thing, then what? What's he going to do? He's going to join the Judgment Day? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm really curious to see where they're going with this, but because there's a big question mark over Drew McIntyre's head, I'm here for it. I can't hear you because you're muted.
Thank you. I do that a lot, but that's me trying to it's not because I'm always multitasking. So, Mike Knotts, going to you. Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, this match, your thoughts on these two gentlemen?
Well, he's doing what main events do. He's losing. Don't people understand that when you're not the tribal chief, you can be in the main event, but you're not gonna win. He's there because he's over. He's the true baby face in the WWE, him and Cody. And I'm loving this whole thing with him and Drew. I'm loving all of it. You're right. I realize what you said when Drew's blaming him for everything, but there's Drew McIntyre and there's the line, as far as I'm concerned, for that title. So let's go Drew McIntyre to that title until you know who shows up.
One of the things I want to mention is the fact that Jey Uso, besides the fact that he welcomed everybody to Monday Night Raw, he was so excited because he got his word yeet back. He was able to wear the shirt. He was able to say it.
Yeet!
Okay. Let me tell you something that I noticed about this. Because this is like the third time in 2.5 weeks, or I'm exaggerating, maybe a month and a half, that Drew McIntyre has defeated Jey Uso in a match. These two have gone one-on-one 3 times in the last month and a half. Drew McIntyre wins every single time. I said something controversial. Some people agree with me, some people don't. And I think we talked about this a little bit last week. I said that I believe that Jey Uso is the most over wrestler, the most popular wrestler right now in WWE. Some people say, oh, you're crazy. It's LA Knight. Some people say, oh, you're crazy. It's Cody Rhodes. I think it's Jey Uso. And every time there's somebody who's gaining popularity over Cody Rhodes to a certain extent, they start dishing out the L's to him. And I think Jey Uso has lost a lot more matches than he wins. And I think it's doing discredit to the service of Jey Uso simply because of the fact that you want to keep Cody strong. You're overproducing Cody. And he's actually not suffering from what normally happens when somebody's overproduced in WWE wrestling. And that's when they turn him. They haven't turned on him yet. But sooner or later, the intelligent ones already probably see it. But the slower ones that you all are, the slower ones are going to start realizing and turn on him as also, but that's just my opinion. Charmaine thinks Drew is sexy, and I love when he's a heel. I'm assuming that's what
I'm sexy too.
I mean, he's not. I don't think he's outselling Roman in the merch sale.
He's not. The only person outselling Roman is. I don't know about Cody. I don't know the merch sales like that.
Selling a lot of merch, man. Selling a lot of merch.
But are they are when you're watching the product, are they as entertained with a Cody Rhodes match, depending on who he's in the ring with, as they are a Jey Uso match? And I bring this to your attention. I'm going to mention more about it later. When Cody Rhodes was wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura, the fans were not as into that match as they were with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. And what makes
there's no history there.
It's not even just the history; it's the word yeet. They wait for everything that Jey Uso do. They can't tell you what he just did, but everything he does, yeet, 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 just like the yeah, or the what, it's over.
Yeah,
he has the physical, he has the words.
If Roman didn't restrict it, it would not be over.
I think it would have been over without Roman restricted it. I really do. I think it was already did that. And because when he came out, it was actually Jimmy and Jay doing it at the same time. I really think Jimmy was the first one to said it, but whatever. Jimmy and Jay said it at the same time.
They've been saying yeet for a minute now.
They have.
All of a sudden, Roman is like, don't do that.
Because the guy's super.
And then Jimmy even does it and still does it. And then Roman is giving him Roman keeps making it fire, bro. Roman is the one that keeps.
I don't think I got to disagree with you on that. I don't think Roman's the one.
As much as I'm with you for storyline purposes that Roman's doing it, it was over before Roman started not liking it.
It's just like the massive balls thing. It's a thing because they keep making it a thing.
First of all, that didn't become a thing, but I still want a shirt. So to anybody in my house, I still want a shirt that says I have massive balls for Christmas. I don't care what your mother says. Every man who believes he has massive balls and actually has them should be able to have that shirt and wear it proudly. Just saying.
I agree.
It wasn't Roman. It was all. It was all Jay. I'll tell you what it was. It was that press conference with him and Cody after they had a libation or two. That's what really turned it over.
It was over before that.
It was, but it became. Remember how people always talk about Becky Lynch, and she was over. But what really made her over was not the Nia Jax thing, which we'll talk about later. It was actually her slapping the hell out of Charlotte Flair. The Nia Jax thing just took it to a different level. But what really made her over was her slapping the hell out of Charlotte Flair, right? Mm. Yeet, which took Yeet to a different level, was him saying yeet, 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 yeet at the press conference.
I'm gonna say this: how many views did that press conference get? Because I don't think so. It's Jey Uso that makes it popular. But Jimmy said it first. They both were saying it together. They've been saying it for about 3 years.
Even Sami Zayn said it a few times.
Yeah, like it's been out. Yeet's been a thing before wrestling. So the fact that they do it in wrestling just adds to it.
So is what? A lot of these words.
What?
You Can't See Me was out before John Cena. John Cena was
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No. Hear me out, please. I know I'm on your show and I apologize. Mm-hmm. It was a thing in an urban community, but it was not a thing known throughout the world. So when Jonathan, Horatio Rodriguez, Tom Brady, Cena started doing it, it became more popular. So no one knew about it before you knew about John Cena doing it. So saying that in front of somebody was not known before Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It was a word that was known.
The word's been out since
You Can't See Me was known before.
No one was saying you can't see me to someone another person.
Smackdown was known before The Rock, right? Jabroni was known before The Rock. But Stone Cold said Jabroni way before The Rock.
But it's how you make things popular that makes it catch.
So made it popular.
The Iron Sheik said Jabroni.
Exactly. That's where The Rock actually got it from. If you watch Young Rock, where they go person up there who watches TV like I do. All right. So I don't know. Move on. We're gonna be on that all day.
Yeet.
Did she just say we were right about something?
She said you were right and I was incorrect about something.
I don't even know what she's talking about.
Your full name help. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest got into an argument backstage because Damian Priest pretty much called Rhea. It opens up with Finn Balor giving the business to these guys because they lost the match to the Creed brothers. And then Damian Priest said, hey, the problem is not everybody was here last week. Where the freak were you two, right? Were y'all doing a little Rey Mysterio, Zelina Vega? I don't know. What were y'all doing? This leads to an argument between Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest about, the kind of leadership. You can see the feathers being ruffled. Rhea then says, hey, I'm going to go out there and handle my weak women's division, despite them acting like it's a strong women's division. Or Raw is a weak women's division. And why is it a weak women's division? Because who does she wrestle? None other than, even though I like her, let's be real, Maxine Dupree is not it. And as much training, it shouldn't have been filler. As much training as she has, you can still see she is not that good in that ring. She was messing with a lot of spots, which led to Rhea Ripley having to say, okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's end this now. And which led to a stare down between Rhea Ripley and obviously her next competitor, which is going to be Ivy Nile. It should be. Don't expect Ivy to win. It's not happening, people, right?
No, it's filler.
But it's still a good visual because it actually looked like somebody, even though they've done this a few times, it looks like somebody that can possibly add some competition. And Ivy's better in the ring than what Maxine Dupree. Mike, we'll start with you. Your thoughts when it comes to this segment and all these women overall.
Well, everything you said, I agree with. I love Maxine Dupree, but she shouldn't be wrestling against Mommy at all. That was I literally said it watching the match, like, you can see how bad she is. She's hitting in certain spots inside of Alpha Academy. She's what she is. She's there for enhancement. I mean, as far as manager, pretty eye, to bring, change the perception of things and add other elements to wrestling. Inside the ring is not her forte. So seeing that, but I do think they're trying to build the women's division. I will disagree with you on that. It is still currently weak, but I can see them trying to building it, not to jump ship to what we saw yesterday on SmackDown, but just seeing what they did with that. And just overall, I can see a whole big thing in the women's division. But you're speaking about Raw, particularly, the match was just what the match was. And I don't see nobody. It's like when you look at someone like Mello, when you look at JD McDonough, when you look at certain people, I think for the first time ever in women's wrestling division, you have women giants that you didn't have before. And Rhea Ripley to me is like a giant in that. So let's just go against Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, things like that of that nature. they're all going to look small in comparison. So just bring on the real competition. It's not even who she's coming up with next. It doesn't matter. It needs to be Rhea. It needs to be, going against Nia Jax and the big girls. The other ones don't even compare. So that's my thoughts. Vic?
I think this is filler for whoever it is she's going to face at the Royal Rumble, if she does face somebody at the Royal Rumble. Because the thing with Rhea Ripley is that it's kind of like she's getting double booked. What do I mean by that? She's booked in the women's division and also booked in the men's division as far as storyline goes. She's one of the only characters in the whole business that has so much versatility, which is amazing, because one thing that I notice is that when she's out there by herself, she pops. When she's out there with the crew, she doesn't. Everybody, like from the beginning, from Royal Rumble last year, everybody was happy with her winning. Everybody wanted her to win WrestleMania. Everybody was happy with Charlotte Flair was smiling. You know what I mean? But she's been a heel this whole time. So, at this point, they're basically going to keep the belt on her, in my opinion, as long as possible. Because I don't see, outside of Bayley, I don't see anybody else that's fit to take that. She's had it long enough. She could probably drop it at this point, but by her dropping it, it kind of kills her credibility as being the quote unquote leader of the Judgment Day. So, but it might end up being where she loses the belt, and then Damian Priest is the one who has the belt now, and the sole one with the belt. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what's going to happen here, because as soon as Dominic has started losing that belt, then the tension is just getting even more and more. You know what I mean? So I got a feeling it's going to be all about people losing belts. And then eventually they'll probably just stir Rhea into her own thing outside of the Judgment Day. That might be way forward thinking, but I don't know. Because the thing is that right now she really has no competition. She doesn't have anybody. There's no, at least storyline wise. You know what I mean? I think the one person that could probably do something real good with her would be Alexa Bliss, but she's out for a while. Shayna Baszler, great in the ring, terrible on the mic. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's no history, there's nothing, because she's consistently booked with the men. So I'm not sure. I think everything that she's going to get from now, at least till the Royal Rumble, is just going to be filler.
I can't say I disagree with any of those comments that you made, except for the fact that, we all know Rhea's not dropping the title. She's going into WrestleMania as champion. Vic, do me a favor, take over. Somebody's at my door.
Okay. Well, apparently she's going to WrestleMania as champion. Everybody's saying that. So, we'll see. But, yeah. Wait, what was the next thing?
I don't know. You were taking over. Did he give the quip notes?
No, I ain't even no quick notes. Just go check on the thing right quick and see what's poppin', and see if I remember Monday Night Raw. Oh, there was a women's tag team match.
Oh, I forgot about that already. Yeah, see, just that fast.
Body damage control. Yeah.
But that was Smackdown.
Oh yeah, my bad. Oops. Hello. Wait, let me look up Monday Night Raw, because mind you, that was on Monday and so many things happened. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're back.
So, hey, there you go.
We're back. Actually, I should have did this on the way out. I was saying we were going to talk about this more on SmackDown, but apparently Charlotte Flair is injured, and I think that's going to change a lot of plans when it comes to WrestleMania. I thought the money match obviously was going to be Becky versus Rhea. I still think that's the way to go. I think that's the way they should go, but now you have to figure out what they're going to do with Bianca Belair. But we're going to talk about CM Punk when we come back. That powerful promo between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, that's the conversation piece. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back, talk about that. I hope that was good, Mike. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
As far as Lyra having the belt, she's had an okay run. I'm not going to say it's the best, but I'll say it's better than someone who constantly taps out but is lucky that the ref doesn't see it every damn time. Tiffany. I can say her name with sarcasm however much I want because I hated her reign as champion. There, I said it. She can wrestle in the ring. I will never say that Tiffany Stratton can't wrestle because that is an absolute lie. However, the fact that she's a chicken shit champion who always got lucky by either being by tapping in the ref not seeing, the ref being distracted, and she uses it as a chance to win every single time, I cannot respect you as a champion. It made me respect Mandy Rose's reign as champion. And Lord knows how much I hated her reign as champion because she always had Gigi Dolan and JC Jamin that were also Toxic Attraction helping her every single time.
So you have never liked a chicken shit champion ever in the entirety of the time you've watched professional wrestling? Never once.
Not. I can like somebody when they're a heel character, but do I like them if they're a chicken shit heel champion all the damn time? Roman. He's a chicken shit in the sense that he's only won 24%. That's not even a quarter of his reigns. And he's now a part-time champion.
He's a great champion.
Who is going to lose the belts to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Very powerful statement by the Wrestling Doll. You can catch her as well as Stefan every single Tuesday immediately after NXT for the NXT review show. For the record, Roman Reigns is a great champion. We'll talk more about Roman Reigns on SmackDown. But let's talk about the most popular segment of Raw, possibly the most popular segment all week. We'll talk about that after SmackDown. But CM Punk coming out, officially signing for Monday Night Raw to the surprise of absolutely zero people. And I'm glad they went straight to the point. Signed with Monday Night Raw, expressed that this was where he wanted to go to. After he signed for Monday Night Raw, which to my surprise, because I didn't think they were going to do this so early after the comments Seth Rollins made last week, Break It Down plays, or Burn It Down plays, and Seth Rollins comes out, expresses to CM Punk in a pseudo Hangman promo exactly what he feels about him and his involvement with the WWE at this point. Vic, we're going to start with you. Your thoughts and your comments when it comes to CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Where do you think this leads? Where do you think this is going with the world title? Is this leading to a match at WrestleMania or before? Vic, let's go.
I believe that Seth Rollins is a student of Eric Bischoff. Seth Rollins knows very well that controversy creates cash. I'm sure that backstage he jumped on this opportunity to face CM Punk and to just start crap with CM Punk. I'm certain that they both know how to do business. Because look, the one thing I appreciate about Seth Rollins is that he's very good at adding spice to social media. You know what I mean? Like every time, I remember this one situation where CM Punk says he basically told him, "Listen, stop looking like an idiot online," and they just bringing it back to that. Now Seth Rollins said things like he hates him and things like that, based on. Yeah, hang on a second, my thing is unplugged. He says stuff to him that he hates him and blah blah blah, based on things that happened in the past. But at the end of the day, Seth Rollins sees money on the table with this guy, and they're gonna have promos going back and forth, and it is going to be awesome. But at the same time, it's basically a repeat of what happened with Cody Rhodes, in my opinion. They pretty much said the same thing. Look, you did this and that, and Cody Rhodes, he broke the throne. He did all, you know what I mean? And CM Punk, he went over there, talked all kinds of shit and this and that. And Seth Rollins is just gonna be upset. I mean, now at the same time, he kind of has the right to be upset because Seth Rollins has been holding this place down for a good decade and some change now, since the days of NXT. From the Architect to the Messiah to this and that, and now he finally found, whoa, you know what I mean? So, and then the other thing is that Seth Rollins is not the same guy that CM Punk knew when he was NXT champion. It's a very, very different person. Therefore, I'm very excited to see what happens. I think, regardless of straps or whatever, if these two face each other at WrestleMania, I think this is going to be the match of the week. I think it's going to be, at least for storyline talent or whatever, because they're both good on the mic. They're both are going to make it. They're going to put a lot of sizzle to that steak. And Seth Rollins is really good at putting on a good match. Mind you, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, one of the most memorable RKOs ever. I forget which WrestleMania that was, but I mean, come on, you know what I mean. Seth Rollins knows how to. Seth Rollins knows how to put on a show. Look, Kevin Owens jumping off the top of the sign at WrestleMania 36 in the Thunderdome. That made it. You know what I mean? These guys.
Performance Center. It wasn't even the Thunderdome.
Yeah, you see, in the Performance Center. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Seth and CM. That's definitely the way to go. Strap or no strap, it's just gonna be a good time. And I was here for this. Anyway, that was a long ramble. Sorry. And you mute yourself again because
I said it was long.
You unmuted yourself to interrupt me earlier, and then you mute yourself.
Mike, go ahead.
Look in my eyes. What do you see? Listen, I'm gonna agree with you. First of all, it's not steak. It's not sizzle on the steak. It's sizzle on the cheesesteak. It's gonna be in Philly. Okay, it don't matter how we get to it, what lane they take, the road to WrestleMania, because you gotta stop by, which is the Royal Rumble first. It's Punk. It's Seth. WrestleMania night one main event. Lock it in. I'm agreeing with you again, Vic, because you are an intelligent wrestling fan. That I think also based upon storyline and everything else, this can trump Cody winning. Okay. They can hype it up that Cody would be bigger. Because that story will be that case, if that is the case. Remember, I got to put that if in there because, all you jabronis or ham and eggers, as the executive consultant would say out there, thought that it was going to happen last year. Kind of told you that wasn't going to happen. Cody would, as Vic just said again elegantly, he put a sledgehammer to the throne. Okay? It wasn't going to happen that fast. But that promo on Monday, knowing he was going to sign everything you said and coming out and them getting into it that fast, I'm with you. I was definitely shocked. They jumped into it right away. But you have to, right? Because that's all they're talking about. Things that are Triple H that are better at than Vince McMahon. Listening to the fans, but knowing how to give them what they want without giving them exactly what they want. Because that's what other promotions do. They just cater to fans all the way, and they don't know how to still tell the story properly. You can't hide this. It's too hype. It's too much. The cursing in the ring, the I hate yous back and forth in the ring. Forget everything that Seth Rollins said, which was amazing and honest and true. I have been here. Where have you been? It's the same story, right? That they all go through. The Zia Silence said also. He said, wasn't that the Cody story, right? You went over there and did all that kind of stuff. Now you're back. So it's kind of the same thing, but a little bit more anger towards it, right? Nobody really hated Cody for doing it, but Punk, you're kind of hated for what you did. You know what I mean? And what you said. So then I love Punk's retort to that. You know what I mean? That was your one time to say something like that. And next time I'm going to have to punch you in the mouth. Okay, there will be nothing higher than this. Punk, I don't think will win at WrestleMania. Because I think he gets what he ultimately always wanted was to main event WrestleMania. But I don't think he still wins. I just think that's too much for them, the same way that, Cody didn't win. But I'm here for everything in between it and how it gets there. I can care less what road it takes me down. I'm just here for it. Bam. Punk, Seth. Hottest thing of the week until we got to Friday, to be honest with you. That's just my thoughts. Go ahead.
I said it's definitely going to be up there as far as we said, hey, what's the best segment of the week? This would have to be in the conversation. I'm not sure what will win from my personal aspect. We'll talk about when we get to Smackdown. Let's go ahead and talk about this, though. This promo was very well and delivered. Shocking. But I see now when it looks like CM Punk will be back to around the Rumble time, maybe a Raw before the Rumble. Then let's just go ahead and get out the way. So Seth can focus on other things because I'm sure he's going to defend the title against somebody at the Royal Rumble, but it won't be against CM Punk. I'm thinking of Drew McIntyre again. I think there's going to be some shenanigans at Raw they're going to have a match at. It just seems like the most fitting way to go. Anyway, logic aside.
Triple threat, throw Jay in there?
Yes, that makes more sense. That makes way more sense. And Jimmy can interrupt because Jimmy and Jay's the match, the money match at WrestleMania. So that being said, I'm on. People come, they hit me up. You ham and ears hit me up. Hey, Chris, what do you think of? I'm not watching. Did you see? Yes, of course. Who do you think is the heel in this? There's no heel. They don't need to have a heel. They don't need to have a definitive heel. CM Punk doesn't need to go out there and backstab somebody. Seth Rollins doesn't need to go out there and backstab somebody. It can be both baby faces with genuine dislike of each other. And honestly speaking, I am on Seth Rollins' side, right?
I think that's what makes him the face.
Go ahead, Mr. Knox.
See, I raised my hand. I'm being nice.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm with you, Vic. I think that's what makes him also. I think automatic. See, the thing is, when wrestling people come back, they're automatically cheered. And Punk's going to be cheered. My only thing is that they're neither one are baby faces. I think wrestling fans, you have to determine we cannot change 1 + 1 = 2. You have heels, you have faces, you have baby faces. There's a difference. You have tweeners. That is what wrestling is. Neither one are baby faces. Baby faces don't curse. Okay? Baby faces don't take it to the limit like Batman, but don't kill. You get what I'm saying? Killing makes you a villain, but taking it to the edge and not killing, it's not a face thing to do. Right, so just in that retrospect, when you say that term,
I will have to disagree with the cursing part there, and I do believe Seth Rollins is a baby face. I do believe that, and I know we had that conversation when it came to the awards, and I disrespectfully disagree. I think if you come out there and you slapping hands,
did you say disrespectfully disagree?
No, I said I respectfully disagree. Rewind it. I respectfully disagree. If you are going out there and you're slapping hands with the fans as you're on your way out and everything like that, I think that kind of makes you a baby face. If you are out there and you're doing all this to the kids and stuff, rubbing their hair like they don't have dandruff, I think that makes you a baby face. So, I disagree. We'll talk about it another time. But
thought he was checking for lice.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I think this is like another like John Cena, Daniel Bryan situation.
To a certain extent. To a certain extent, I completely agree with you.
Or even Cena Rock. And what you were saying before I cut you off, I'm with Seth Rollins. Seth is right in this storyline. Right? Yeah. If you're going to be honest here, I'm a Punk mark, so I'm Team Punk. But in storyline, like at WrestleMania, as an idiot, when everybody was going for The Rock, no, John Cena was right about The Rock. He wasn't going to beat him in Miami.
He turns into Rock. Then he turns into Rock. That's the funny part. And he admits, hey, I was wrong in that. I was absolutely wrong. Best way I can help WWE is to do what I'm doing right now, which is stay away and just doing the thing. And I think he's right, to a certain extent. I'm going to mention this last part about Punk and Rollins before we move on to Bronson Reed and Ivar, which will be a quick gloss over anyway. No disrespect to those two men because I think they had a fantastic match. But I also want to bring into light that CM Punk did apologize to a certain extent at the beginning of his promo, which I'm pretty sure they were told, hey, you're going to have to apologize because you did walk out. I mean, at the end of the day, you did walk out. Now, granted, I can tell that he still feels like he did what he said it. Hey, I don't regret that decision, but I apologize if you were expecting me to show up and and he got that out of the way. So I will say this. I will say that I believe that coming back, he is definitely eating his crow to a certain extent and is humbling himself like he should. Because he did. I mean, and then you left and you bashed WWE almost the entire time you were gone. And definitely on AEW TV, you bashed the hell out of it. Just like Mr. Knox always mentions how Cody put the sledgehammer to the throat. Now he comes back, he acts like he's WWE thoroughbred through and through. He's a little worse than CM Punk in my case, in that case. Because not only did you work for AEW, you pretty much started the freaking company of AEW, took a sledgehammer to the throat, just cursed. I watched the promo he did. I completely forgot about what he said. Let me tell you about a dark place where you get no days off. You're traveling to you totally crush it. But because you disagree with Tony Khan, I'm back, and I always knew this was home, and this is where I went. Like, shut the hell up, guy. Shut the hell up.
Wait, but think about it though, because here's the truth: that AEW is run by the talent more than anything else. WWE is not run by the talent. So, and I think that CM Punk didn't see that until there was conflicts.
The grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yeah. So the thing,
the 80-20.
But the thing is this: like AEW, unfortunately, is like TNA, MLW, is developmental with a lot of money behind it. Jade Cargill is a perfect example of that. Because look, there was this big hype, and now she's being hidden.
But when she makes an impact again?
No, she will. But the thing is just that they put all this stuff behind her as if she was ready, and she's not.
Unless she's going to end up like that dude that got drafted to Raw, but they end up putting on NXT because Gabe, I think is his name.
Yeah, Gabe Stevens.
Gabe Stevenson.
Listen, He wasn't ready, but I said from the beginning with when it came to Jay Cardell, from the very beginning when he's up, that's your girl, and me, always bet on black. I'm rooting for her. I've always said she's not the greatest in ring talent.
No, she's not, but she's
that's all she is. But for her to be here, they would hide and mask what they couldn't mask over there.
And by the time she's done,
by the time she's in the ring, she's going to be what she's good. She's just to be Nia Jax. She's just to be Nia Jax.
Exactly.
That's not the case. The thing is just that AEW is a completely different space. Punk thought that it was going to be a totally different, especially with the amount of money that was behind it. It didn't, and it just didn't turn out to be that. So
the only reason I'm going to say this because this week I went on a whole bunch of interviews, and every single one of the interviews I went in, I always said, "Hey, this is the company I worked for. Great company, did nothing wrong to me." I always say that about every company that I leave, even if I'm lying like hell and I couldn't stand the place. I say it because you don't want to bash the place. You don't want to burn bridges. Not publicly like that.
Yes, but that's not the wrestling business. There's always a need for sizzle for some steak.
Because they'll always bring it back.
This whole thing, all of that shit. But here's the truth. CM Punk's impact in Survivor Series was not being as big if there wasn't all of this shit talk and all of this controversy and all of these problems. If CM Punk would have just showed up at a Royal Rumble out of nowhere and there was no hype for it because everybody was literally waiting till the end of the show to see what was going to happen. Because
how do I know this is Mike? How do I know this is Mike? Not only did he King Von it, right?
Do you really think CM Punk would have popped in AEW as hard as he did if it wasn't for all of the shit that he said on the podcast and all the time?
I just find that hard to answer, and the crest that's wrestling, right?
Yeah,
because everything in wrestling is. That's why I was getting when people say, "Oh, they got fired." So what? They worked for WWE, they didn't get a job anywhere. I can care less. Somebody got future endeavored. That's the best thing ever happened to them. They worked here. They forever have a job. They forever can show up at a WrestleCon. I'm not trying to hear it. If they had any kind of success, so no. But him going there, it was anticipated like it always has been. He has a cult following, right? I heard Friday night. I had people that were there at AEW when he showed up. It was the biggest non-kept secret, just like Cody was, that we ever saw in wrestling, and the crowd still went ape shit for it. Right? No one knew he was coming here. The majority of people didn't know he was coming back when he came back. I'm going to say I did say it, right? But damn, I didn't believe it because I said it. It was just like, I hoped it could be. The breadcrumbs are there. But that pop, I had people that were there. You were there too, Chris. So you're different from one of those opinions that was said to me.
Not AEW. I was
at the Survivor Series, and my friend, shout out to my Kickstarter, my fix. He said it was Road Warrior-esque. It was Stone Cold-esque. It was
definitely was Road Warrior.
Bananas. That pop.
One of the loudest pops I've ever been involved.
People just love Punk. Which I've always asked the question, why I don't understand why you don't like it. To me, that's the question.
He whines too much.
They all do. Austin whined, Rock whined, Cena whined, Jericho whined. Well, not Jericho.
Rock and Cena didn't whine as much. I don't know
who.
Rock and Cena did not whine as much.
There has not been a single top person in the history of professional wrestling business that has not gone to business for themselves. But I do believe that you are not bigger than the business that you wrestle for. I do believe that. But they all complain. They all want their way. That's just the business. That's the way it is. I'm sorry. It's like,
let me tell you why CM Punk is popular, because we just spent about 15 minutes talking about him like we did last week too. And we need to move on. Let's talk about Bronson Reed versus Ivar, battle of the big men. What do they call it? Big meaty
men slapping meat.
Right. That's what this is. I am always been pretty critical of Big Bronson Reed. I'm not a fan. He's earned my respect a little bit more, but he's still not somebody I think is particularly that entertaining in the ring. I will say that I think Ivar is a lot more entertaining in the ring, especially not being a part of the Viking Raiders with Eric. Okay, you can look like that all you want. I think Big Bronson Reed should have been the one to pick up the victory because I know what they're trying to do with him over Ivar, but I think that Ivar is actually the more marketable individual. I think we started with Mike last time. Vic, will start with you. Your thoughts when it comes to these two big meaty men slapping meat?
I feel bad for the War Raiders because they got nothing for them. I think the War Raiders probably would have been better just staying in the Indies. Straight up. They probably got security and money and all of that, but the fact of the matter is that the War Raiders haven't been anything since NXT. you know, and they are really pretty much just used as filler. You know, this match was just to increase Bronson Reed. I think that Triple H is high on Bronson Reed. I think he likes his look. I think he likes, you know, the stuff that he can do in the ring. But the problem is the guy got no mic skills, bro. He doesn't look. He's not impactful that way. He doesn't have. He just doesn't have the shit talk to him. He just has the size and the jumping around and everything. But unfortunately, he just doesn't have it. So yeah, you know, I mean, this whole thing just felt like a bathroom break. Unfortunately, you know. Too bad. And I'm sad to say that because, like, you know, I see promise. I saw a lot of promise in the War Raiders, but you know, then they had to go
The Viking Raiders, maybe.
And Viking Raiders.
Might as well call them War Machine if you're going to go back to the Indies. But they've been in the company for 5 years. I've always been kind of critical of them as a tag team, even though I think they have tremendous skills. They always like the entertainment value. So you're correct. They always like the entertainment value for a WWE tag team. Right? They're solid in the ring, but they always like that entertainment value, and they always try to give them gimmicks to make them entertaining. Somebody backstage loves the Viking Raiders. I never understood why. They gave them pyro, they gave them music, they gave them chants, they gave them this thing, the hand movements to try to do, and it never worked for the Viking
They gave them the New Day.
And it still doesn't work.
I was going to say that when it was my turn, it got stolen.
New Day for the years, and I know Mike complains about it. The New Day's been putting people over.
The only other wrestler that got all hands on deck like that was Roman Reigns.
Okay, they have. See, my thing is the Viking Raiders. I think Triple is high on them. That's why he keeps them around. Their problem is they keep getting hurt somehow, some way. That's their problem. Just the same way as it was for the authors of what was the big. What was you know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, the same thing. Injuries derailed them. But as far as Bronson Reed, I'm sorry. I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. And I thought about it after I said it. Thought maybe I was just trying to catch a rise, which initially I was. But I mean, if you know how to rise, you know how to send it attention. And Bronson Roy, if you can give me Big Van Vader, you can give me Bronson. There's no difference between the two inside that squared circle. Now on the mic, neither was Vader. But we're also talking about a different time in wrestling. Well, back then, you didn't have to have great mic skills. I still don't think you have to have exceptional mic skills and the helmet added to it. But he also had managers pretty much throughout his career. That's all he needs is a good showman, a good mouthpiece. To me, stop trying to put MVP with everybody black. I wanted that whole thing too. Let that progress. Let's still use MVP and what he could be good for. And he could be good for someone like a Bronson Rowe because Bronson's trying to wear the suits and with the slick hair, trying to look, trying to be pretty boy Australian. Put him with somebody. Put him with somebody like a MVP. I think I like Bronson Reed. There's something about him when I was in NXT when he won the championship there. I've just been in love with him ever since as a competitor. But I've never been high on the Viking Raiders either. But I do think they like them backstage and they keep trying to give them what they want. But things just keep derailing them. But like you said, Vic, I was going to say it. They gave them the New Day and they still can't get over.
That's the match we're going to talk about pretty quickly. No disrespect to any of the people out there watching who's a fan of these two, but let's be real. Candice LeRae and Neil Hartwell versus Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. Kaden and Casey continue their winning ways as they are going after the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven on commentary. I don't understand. Chelsea is entertaining me sometimes and annoying me other times. Like last week, she was cheering against the other team, and then when the other team won, then she was upset. I don't know. It was weird. The team she was rooting for won, and then she still was upset. Like it's crazy. It's distracting. Not a fan, but I do hope that Casey and Katana do win the tag team champions because they're not going to really be featured on TV like that. Give it to these two. They're a good hand. Mike, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts when it comes to these two?
Don't know why they were popular in NXT. Don't understand why people still like them now. I don't like their look. They are always getting injured as well. I cannot get behind them. I have never gotten behind these girls. Again, I wish all talent well. I just don't see it. I have friends that like them. I don't get it. Just not for me. The same way y'all guys are not for Bronson. So I don't like Kaden and Katana. Just never been a fan for me. But I like Chelsea Green. She's hilarious. No matter what she does, she's just funny. Right?
Vic, on you.
Ever since Sasha Banks dropped or left the tag team championship, it feels like the tag team championship has been used to help people gain mic skills. Piper Niven has no mic skills. So should they put her with Chelsea Green, who has mic skills, and now they're carrying the tag team championships. Piper Niven is literally just holding it and being the tough girl in the background, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like this is so, and like these two girls, they're very bubbly. So I think the people that like them like how bubbly they are and all like, you know what I mean? Who else used to be so bubbly like that? They kind of got like a Willow Nightingale type of feel. These two girls, and some people like that. You know, so I think that they're gonna win the tag team championships at some point, probably Royal Rumble or something, and it'll be like a big feel good moment because they finally traded the title and they got it off these two heels. Because Chelsea Green is like, she's like a mid card, like a low level heel. You know what I mean? Like gobbledygooker, like
gobbledygooker. That's a low.
I know
that's like calling two of the greats of all time old. What are you thinking?
Sorry, sir.
Let's be honest. Like outside of like
gobbledygooker was an insult, Vic. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it sounded like you're about to give her a compliment, and then you just say,
gobbledygooker.
It's like, okay, is Chelsea Green relevant? I'm sorry, because like she's more relevant because she's like the wife of Matt Cardona than because she's in WWE. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna disagree with that.
I would do too.
I'm definitely going to disagree with that. I see why you say that, but I'm disagreeing.
You know what I mean? Like she's just not it. She doesn't look. No, she doesn't stand out in the women's division at all.
No, she don't. That's just, she has to do those things. Right? To me, I would say she's a low budgeted. To me, the female R-Truth, Alicia Fox. She's more on that level. To me.
Yeah, except for Alicia Fox was nowhere near as team.
Alicia Fox is hilarious.
Alicia Fox is just
hilarious. She's the female R-Truth.
The best thing she's ever done was be the wedding coordinator for Vicky Guerrero.
When she was the Bella's person, but
she was terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we have the last bit of Raw to talk about, including who is DIY's mystery tag team partner. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Then Randy Orton and LA Gears took on Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, and of course Randy's going to win. And I love the end of this match. So I chose this picture. He's going for the move. Randy says, hits him with the RKO 1, 2, 3, gives him a little head nod. Listen, keep giving LA Knight this kind of rub. I think he needs it. I think it's good for him. This is where I think he should be. This is where he will excel. I thought it was too much, too fast. Slow it back down. Give him that slow, good burn that faces are supposed to get and need. That's what gets them over. 100% what gets them over is that. Just said that, okay? I'm no longer going to say, I didn't say no. I'm with that. Give him the slow burn. He will be what he's supposed to be. Randy Orton is the ultimate builder wrestler. I think Randy's been injury prone a lot in his career, but I'm not going to disagree with that at all. But strictly from an aesthetic standpoint, I think the physique of McIntyre is a little bit more than Randy's. This Papa Dad, there's a dad bod. This new dad bod that Randy got is impressive. The muscles, Randy ain't never been this built. Okay, but they all come back built like this, and then they slim out after that. Can I just say something to the AEW crew about that? They played that video on Wednesday for the AEW show, and one Vincent LaSpaza can't understand. First of all, what world are you watching 10 to 15 matches by Randy? Since Randy's been back, he's already wrestled 4 matches. Okay, already 4 matches. Second, okay, as I would tell my kids, so get your facts straight. Okay, second, you just compare to, like, you ever see Randy? Randy has never been this built. He has been in shape. He has been chiseled. But he ain't ever been, none of them between muscle and muscle mass, people. I get sometimes because your food at Las Pazas, it's amazing. So you might be eating too much food to know what a real physique tastes like. But Randy's got the body he ain't never had before. So.
Only thing I'll say about that is, 2 things I'll say about that. One, watch the Mike Knox show every single Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. They're on break right now. But every single Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. the show for the intelligent wrestling fan. That's one. 2, the funny part is when we play the commercial, you are not able to see the backstage area. But when we played the commercial, Mike heard himself. It was like, but never understands when we say, "Hey, Mike, you know you are loud on the show." Right?
No, here's the thing about that, right?
You don't wear your headphones,
yeah, I didn't have my headphones on, so I had no idea what my levels was. And then when you came on, you was like, "You know, really," I'm like, "Yo, that's really loud." And I was like, "Oh, damn!" I've been like that the whole show. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I apologize.
But you calm it down when you put the headphones on when somebody joins you. I have noticed that, but it just be funny because I know in that commercial it started out like, "Well," and you're like, "Whoa!"
It was loud.
Taking it back. Z Silence says she's more famous than Cardona. It's the other way around. People like him because of her. I agree with Z on that one. I get you, Z. I was waiting on this rebuttal. Right? That's the same man that called Samoa Joe fat. And I had to turn my phone down.
See? I told you. And that's a Noxer right there.
DIY was backstage. Johnny 205 Live was holding the Cleveland Brown Championship. They were trying to.
They were going to get
tight. Wasn't Tommaso Ciampa was like, hey, you know, I have the who we going to get? I mean, can we trust this guy? Immediately we said, I was like, oh, it has to be the Miz, right? And they're in Cleveland, had to be the Miz. Imperium come out, it's like, you know, Gunther's doing his own thing. Like, who's going to mess with you guys? Weirdos. Anyway, long story short, it is the Miz. He comes out, good pop. You know, I'm just going to put that on the executive consultant. Talk to you, Chris. Miz has been and is my absolute favorite wrestler, even more so than Roman Reigns. I have been so pissed off at WWE all year because even though I like the fact they have him on TV all the time, and I've always said that's good. If you're on TV, that means they care about you, right? Please, we're losing. And I didn't like the fact that WrestleMania 39 this year, they had him lose to Snoop Dogg, Shane McMahon, and Pat McAfee. Pissed me the hell off. I am glad to see him getting this push, even as a babyface. I think he's killing it. I think he's still showing why he is a relevant competitor. Not saying that he needs the main event of WrestleMania again. I'm not saying he needs another world title again, even though I would not be opposed to it. But just seeing him get in the face of Gunther, almost beat him again. Almost beat him again. Well, I mean, almost beat him again. He almost beat him in Survivor Series, but he didn't. I didn't like the finish. I didn't like the finish of that match. But it was good to see him get his props in this from the Cleveland crowd. It's good to see him get the victory. I know you don't like Cleveland. I'm not exactly a fan of the Browns either, for reasons I won't talk about on Tuesday. But it was nice to see. And then this, of course, leads to him saying backstage, I want another shot. Gunther says, you can have another shot, but if you lose, you can't challenge me for the Continental Championship as long as I hold this, which unfortunately will be the end of business. Again, the Continental Championship try, but I'm just saying I'm enjoying the ride and I'm here for it. Vic, your thoughts when it comes to the Miz and this tag team match?
I mean, it was a Cleveland hype show. You know what I mean? Johnny Gargano, hardcore Cleveland guy. You know, the only person that was missing was Dolph Ziggler. They probably should have thought of this before they fired him.
And Drew Carey.
And Drew Carey. You know, Cleveland rocks. They probably should have came out to the Drew Carey show song too. You know what I mean? Like straight up. Like this was just they were hometown boys having a hometown match. Let's get her done. You know what I mean? That's what was going on there. But you know, I feel like they don't have anybody else for Gunther to fight. And I don't see like the first time they were gonna do it, like I saw like, you know, maybe they could put the belt back on Miz and then have Gunther go for and have Gunther win the Royal Rumble. That's before CM Punk showed up. Right. So now I got a feeling that Gunther's gonna hold on to that belt for a while. So now they're extending. They're having another fight with the Miz. Since the first my fight was quality, the second fight will be quality, and there'll be more shenanigans. And then the Miz can just, you know, find something to complain about and you know, move the crowd. Because the truth is, like, I really see why you like the Miz, and I've seen the Miz's evolution. I have a lot of respect for the Miz because listen, the Miz is going to go out like Paul Heyman, just in the ring. You know what I mean? That's the truth. The guy is going to be remembered for having great mic skills, and that's why people compare MJF to him. So, yeah, man, like it's interesting because I personally, what I think Miz is doing is elevating Gunther. To be honest with you, so yeah, Cleveland rocks.
The Miz is the longest tenured superstar next to Orton on a consistent basis. That is correct. Otherwise, I can throw in R-Truth, who was there since 2002. But he did leave for a little while. Kofi Kingston joined in 2000, I want to say 5 or 6. Miz has been there since 2004. So I'm pretty sure it is the Miz on a continuous basis, not leaving the company at all. It has to
be. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. 2004 is when he came in?
Correct.
So they might actually do that. They might give him the belt and then make a 20-year belt for him.
You be really on to the merchandise thing. I swear, WWE should
because that's what this business is, bro. That's what the business is, man.
It's about branding. Vince said that in the Pat McAfee thing last year. It's about branding. He's a big fan of branding, and honestly, I think WWE does it better than any other company out there. Sports company out there that includes the NFL. I just think they're very good at their branding. Look at their championship belt and how they make sure that they're there at the Big 12, the Super Bowl. That championship belt be ready for sale whenever a team wins the championship the next day. It's amazing. It is amazing. Last thing we're going to talk about as far as Monday Night Raw.
Well, I'm sorry, but have you ever heard anybody ever say, I'm going to Cleveland on vacation?
I'm just me and SummerSlam if they go to Cleveland.
Nah.
It's not vague.
But no.
Nah, nobody does that. That's one of those. That's one of those.
I just heard that joke too.
That was Joakim Noah during the playoffs against the Bulls.
That's a pit stop city. Like,
did you have any thoughts when it comes to this match? I'm sorry, I forgot about you, Mike.
No, it's. I hate DIY.
DIY. Let's talk about
that's how much I hate him.
Let's talk about the main event. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. I'll briefly talk about this. There's a match that was just a match, and that led to Cody Rhodes look like he's about to pick up the victory before he got missed it, so they can prolong the storyline. Mike, we'll start with you. Yeah, just get
I was entertained. The one thing Triple H has been doing, again, we always want to rip AEW for trying to be all, elite WWE, but Triple H has taken some of the things that they do, or you could say if you want to go back and not give AEW the credit, what he did on NXT, and he gives you good matches and good shows. Like I said, early on, his booking was very questionable in his early beginning of taking over the company, and I've always kept saying, well, hey, wait, give it time. I thought it was a perfectly booked match. I thought the ending was great, honestly. I didn't see The Miz coming in a way of getting disqualified, so to speak. So I was cool for it, and I was happy for the match. It needed to be the way it was because it's supposed to be a rivalry. Rivalry shouldn't end in a 1-2-3 or something like that, So I'm here for it. It's a good main event.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And the one thing I'll agree with you on when it comes to Triple H booking is I was thinking about that this morning. What he used to do. First of all, I will say this, and this is the only time I'll admit this, right? So if you're an AEW fan, clip it. I do believe since Triple H took over, he has established a lot of things that AEW does do, right? Fans, that I'm critical on.
The fans at the ringside, being interactive with the fans. Like, you never seen that in Vince McMahon's. They're signing autographs at ringside.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that the AEW did that I think the Vince was like, no. And then Triple H said, yeah, you know what? We should do that. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. Now, let me tell you what Vince used to do that I agree with, okay, that Triple H doesn't do. This is somewhat to Mike's point. And he's frozen anyway.
Yeah.
So when Arnold Schwarzenegger fixes that. But one thing I don't like is one thing I did like about Vince. Vince used to put all his top guys on every show every freaking week, which is why the matches were a lot shorter under Vince. You would have one match that had an overrun for a commercial, and that's it. Triple H needs to have almost every match have a commercial break to give them time. I feel like, and we can see it now, I feel like those matches should be on pay-per-views. I liked it better like that. I think Raw should just keep on moving with the storyline. Doesn't need to be a great match every single time.
I think wrestling just has changed so much with the audience and the fan base. It's what's expected now.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I agree. I know what you're saying. I agree what you're saying. I'm saying, but as a fan who pays for tickets, right?
Yeah, I get that, but those fans pay tickets every week, and I'm sitting up here for 3 hours every week watching it. You get what I'm saying? But they got it. If you keep giving me what wrestling should be, and that's the superstar beats the mid-carder, you know what I'm saying? Beats the enhancement talent every single week. You have to give you good matches. It has to be that.
I pay to see, as a 5-year-old, 7-year-old fan, 10-year-old fan, I'm paid to see, let's say, hypothetically speaking, LA Knight. I go in there. I plan to see LA Knight because he's a SmackDown superstar. I pay for SmackDown. You don't give me LA Knight. Instead, you give me a backstage promo of LA Knight. I'm a little upset. I'm a little disappointed. That was my favorite superstar. Vince will make sure that you have my favorite superstar on. Now, granted, sometimes that person will be on a dark match after to help you out. But realistically speaking, with NXT, what he did, Triple H did in NXT, I noticed he does on Raw because he didn't have as much time on NXT. He only had an hour show at first, right? He gives you them, and to keep the other people relevant, he gives you a backstage promo with them or something. And AEW does that also. But WWE does the packages more. But AEW gives you the backstage promo to promote this person to keep them still relevant. So I appreciate that about Triple H. But at the same time, like I said, as a fan of buying a ticket, I always felt like at least I got to see my favorite superstar, even with just during a run-in. But that's just my personal opinion. We're going to move on. Unless, Vic, did you have something to say before we Yeah, I know.
No, I mean, I think that a lot of that culture also came from the house shows, because in the house shows, everybody acts totally different. You know what I mean? Even though like they're doing away with the house shows, I think that the way that they used to act at the house shows, I think they're starting to give them a little bit more freedom with that, because I think they're starting to see that some of the things that Vince was worried about is not necessarily a bad thing. But Vince is just old and jaded, unfortunately. So he just needs to.
Some things work, some things don't work. Let's go ahead. That's the end of Monday Night Raw. When we come back, we're going to talk quickly about SmackDown. Not too quick. We're going to talk quickly about SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
You guys think for Swerve to come over from WWE, do you think that was the best move for him?
Yes. I do. Yeah. Yes. And I say that because when he was in Hit Row, I thought it was a good thing for him, and it started to fall apart. But him coming to AEW, finding his own, and for me, I thought it was a big deal that he was beating Hangman twice. I remember doing some predictions about this, and people, Hangman got to get his win back. I said, nah, he don't have to get his win back. We don't have to do the traditional stuff. Sometimes we can switch things up. Right. And I think those two big wins is what really helped him elevate. And he's a favorite to win the Continental Classic. You got Bryan Danielson, you got Jon Moxley, you got Jay White, and these guys are great. John Moxley don't have to win this. You mentioned Bryan Danielson. He's fantastic. I saw this thing where I was reading. What was the review on not review? What show was it? The what's on Saturday? Collision, and he said his eye fell out or something like that. So yeah, I don't think I need Bryan Danielson. I like Bryan Danielson. He's tough as nails, but he don't need to win. Swerve winning would just be the best move. But carry on. You was talking about this match. This match was great.
It was great, fantastic.
Yes,
it's built for Swerve. This tournament is built for Swerve. I mean, I agree. Swerve and probably Danielson, I think, is your final.
I was waiting. Anything on that show?
Sorry, go ahead. I saw you were talking. Go ahead.
No, I was wondering if there's going to be anything on that show I would ever agree with that they would say. I agree with that statement. And that's but way to go, Jack.
You agree with what bad guy Jack said?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were talking. You agree with what Vinny said. I was like, okay, all right. Which is nothing wrong with that. If you agree with what Vinny said, that's your opinion. I disagree with it, right? But that is your public opinion, and I actually played the wrong AEW commercial anyway. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about SmackDown coming up. First thing we're going to talk about is the return of the Tribal Chief to SmackDown. I was happy. I was excited. Green Bay seemed a little sour on your Tribal Chief, but he came out. He said, look, this is what he's doing. This is how he is. This is who he is. But the new Tribal Chief, or the next in line for the Tribal Chief, as Jimmy once again stole the show, right?
Always has.
He was like, even though we all knew he was talking about Solo, right? And then Romo rubbed the salt in the room. He was like, he said, Jimmy, please help me. It was funny, and it was Solo Sikoa. This leads to Randy Orton coming out, which you knew was going to happen. Coming out and pretty much saying, hey, I want a shot at the the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. Roman said, hey, you've been gone 18 months. You've been thinking about what you're going to do to me. I haven't thought about you at all. Get to the back of the line, right? Which, he's not wrong. He's been gone for 18 months. What makes you think you automatically come and get a world title shot?
His contract states that. His new contract he signed with SmackDown guarantees him a contract for the world title. That's how they swayed him to come here.
So Randy's like, I'll leave with this. Daddy's back. Pisses off Roman, but we already have the match set up. Jimmy Uso versus versus Randy Orton for the main event of SmackDown. Let's keep it moving. First match is the United States Championship Contenders Tournament. Carmelo Hayes, versus Grayson Waller. I'm interested to hear your thoughts about this, Mike, but we're going to go start with Vic. One thing I want to highlight before we start off with you, Vic, is that to keep the United States Championship champion relevant, they had him tape some segments, interview segments, to say something about these two competitors before going in. I mean, while going into the match. And I have to say, Logan Paul once again killing it because
the real megastar.
He once again killing it because he actually, to a certain extent, I feel like he roasted a couple of them too bad. And I'll talk about some burns that he said during 1 or 2, especially against Kevin Owens. But Vic, what are your thoughts when it comes to this match? Carmelo Hayes, of course, picks up the victory.
I don't know if they faced each other in NXT. I think they did a few times.
Hayes and Melo, yes. They're actually really good friends.
Yeah, so, part of it feels like filler, but then the other part of it feels like they're starting to transition Carmelo Hayes into Smackdown. Because he still's got a storyline in NXT going on. So, I mean, and mind you, DX is high on this guy. DX is huge on Carmelo Hayes. So I definitely see a future here, but I got a feeling that Shawn Michaels is not trying to let him go as of yet, especially with the whole thing with Trick Williams. So, this might be part of his exit. And at this point, and Grayson Waller, he's just such a good heel that he's just perfect filler for this. You know what I mean? So seeing Carmelo Hayes just win this match was not surprising. That's true.
All right, Mr. Knotts, I know you got to go with your final thoughts on everything because we got your replacement about to come in anyway.
First, got to a little bit of discussion. That's like a rush. That's like a discussion and a tussle at the same time over my thoughts of Melo Hayes. Melo Hayes has a look of a great luchador. Like, remember WCW's cruiserweight division? That's where Carmelo Hayes belongs. I'm just being honest. I like the guy. I want him to hit. I don't think he misses much. I think his acting sometimes can become corny. I like what they're doing with him in NXT. I don't think he's main event status as a world champion. And I know everybody's not built to be a world champion. When I look at him in the size of a Dean Malenko. It's just not going to go but so far to me. And so when I see Melo Hayes, I'm just like, dude, you're too tiny, you're too small. I poop out stool samples bigger than Melo Hayes. I'm sorry. The gear's great. The intros are great. He can talk on the microphone. He's just too damn tiny. And not only nobody to tell me, do you see how many muscles you got? Muscles don't make you big. Mass makes you big. If Mike Knox started to work out, I look like Vin Raines on crack. Okay? It's about mass. He doesn't have muscle mass. What's the NXT champion? The Dragon guy? He has more mass and muscle than Melo. So he looks bigger than Melo. With that being said, my only thought is about my tribal chief coming back. I love Randy Orton. Daddy's Home is corny. Can't stand it. Like, I'm not liking this. The microphone for Randy right now, to me, I'm just not over on it right now. And the things that Roman says are just always goated because, I mean, he is in God mode. Okay? Greatness on another level. I'm sorry. He said, I didn't even think about you while you were gone. Why would I? And then the real main event, I'm going to say it to the day I die. If you want to give Jay the Emmy, then Jimmy gets the damn time, gets an Oscar. Wherever you want to figure it out. He gets an award because Jimmy is the true Uso that got this engine running. He is the oil behind the machine. He was doing the yeast before anybody else. He was the one who wanted Sammy all along. He had all the handshakes. It's always been about him because he was born a minute sooner. Okay, that's all that matters. And he don't have a haircut like our replacement host about to come on here now of his people of the Latin percentage. He's supposed to be Samoan, but he always rocking a Latin haircut. I'm thinking like, are you a boxer? Are you like Vinny Pazienza? Like, what are you doing here, Jay? And I like you, but no, it's all about Jimmy from day one. Jimmy this, Jimmy that. And the only thing that Randy did say, and I said that in the comments, I will say because I forgot about that and I got to get out of here, legend killer stuff. That I did like that. I just don't like the whole daddy's home and you're crapping your pants. Like, come on, dog. You're from the next to the Attitude Era. Like, you're allowed to curse. If nobody else can curse, Randy, you can get away with it. You know how I know? Because Brock does, and all the superstars who are going to be Hall of Famers, while they're still wrestling right now, they're surefire Hall of Famers, can say it. So I know you can say it. But guys, with that being said, I got to go pay some homage to my queen, right? And she's being honored tonight at a gala. So I'm going to go get fresh to death like $1,000,000 and go cut a rug and bring on my replacement, Mr. Big Daddy Cool. I'm out here, y'all. I'm too sweet. Peace.
Too sweet. Look at that, everybody. What's up?
What's up, bro?
How you guys been?
Big Daddy Cool. Thanks for joining us. Welcome aboard.
Pleasure.
Good.
Good to see you.
Good. Legend Killer. Kill Roman's promo. Roman's face gave it up. He kept a straight face and wouldn't have hit. If we can get behind Mommy, we can get behind Daddy's home. Pause. And Romo almost smiled. I knew you were coming back for that. Big Daddy Cool, your thoughts when it comes to that segment for Roman and Randy Orton, and your thoughts when it comes to Mello as well as
Christmas came early last night.
Grayson Waller.
Christmas came early last night. It's obvious to us that we were graced by the presence of Roman Reigns, and that was it's always a great thing. I have to disagree with one Mike Knox. Jimmy needs to be taken out like yesterday's trash. And it's only about time that this guy gets thrown out of the bloodline. Because, I mean, this guy's been just, you know, like in your family, there's always one fuck up. That's Jimmy Uso. That's Jimmy. Like, Jimmy was like, oh, it's promotion season. And he thought it was really him. Like, for what? What did you do? What has Jimmy done? What has Jimmy done? Nothing. But, yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool
He's
with
entertaining.
No, he's not. What has he done that's entertaining? Go ahead.
Last night he was entertaining when he was when Roman
when he what jobbed out to Randy?
No, when Roman introduced Solo Sikoa as the next tribal chief, and Jimmy was acting like it was going to be him. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious because he's the bum and he's the butt of the joke. He's the Fredo. You ever watch Vic? I know you watch Godfather. This dude is the Fredo. Yeah. Roman's gonna take this man out into the middle of the lake in the boat and shoot him in the head. Right. He's gonna dome him.
Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, I have a feeling that long term he might be the one that causes Roman to lose the title. And if they do that, then that continues the storyline. If Roman loses the title at Mania, because this whole thing with Jimmy is good, man. I'm not gonna lie, because just the way that he's acting, he's just like pretending to be hype. Like, yeah, I'm in the bloodline, whatever. He's acting like Sami Zayn. That's how he's acting. And that's why I think it's entertaining. But you're right. He definitely is Frodo. And eventually Roman Reigns is just going to be like, screw you, blah, 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 this and that. But the only time that I think something like that would happen would be after Roman loses the title. Because something has to happen. Something has to happen after the fact. It's not like Roman's going to lose the title and then retire. You know what I mean? So I got a feeling that long-term, Jimmy's going to end up being a part of that. Especially because of this that just happened. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing with Solo and whatever, yeah.
Pause, Vic. Steve, if you could kindly tell me what Vic just said 10 seconds ago, I would appreciate it.
He said that he respects Jay, what Jimmy has done, but Jimmy is the Fredo.
That's a nice paraphrase. Let's go ahead and talk about the next match, which is going to be also United States Championship Contenders Tournament. Vicky went lag for a big here there. Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory, which Kevin Owens picks up the victory after hitting Austin Theory with his cast. Kevin Owens advances. Of course, now it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Carmelo Hayes next week. Any thoughts when it comes to these two matches? Big Daddy Cool, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I know that I missed this talk about Melo. Melo winning, great stuff. This guy is a up and comer from NXT. He needs to win. Good match. He's looking good. He looks strong. I like the backstage segment with him and Kevin Owens to tease the next matchup between him and KO. next week on Raw. I mean, on SmackDown. Looked good. I liked it. Melo's going to get screwed over. It's probably going to be that no good Trick Williams that's going to cost it for him. You watch. He'll fuck it up. He'll fuck it up for him. He's just this Trick Williams is jealous of what Melo has done, and so obviously he's going to cost him the title. So
Trick Williams is jealous of Melo.
If that happens, that would be great for NXT, because if they have like this cross branding storyline type of thing with Carmelo Hayes, I think it would be great, because the fact that he just showed up, like I don't know, I mean, I might have missed it, but I didn't see any like hardcore branding for all of a sudden Carmelo Hayes is showing up in this thing. He just got chosen, and now he's in the United States Championship thing, you know. So I mean, clearly the guy was supposed to get called up already. I'm surprised that Braun Breaker's not a part of that, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, DX is high on this guy. I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit for this guy. It's gonna be something good.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it will be very entertaining and very interesting. They had a nice little backstage segment between Kevin Owens and Carmelo Hayes. Looking forward to this. Next match we're going to talk about is Mia Yim and Zelina Vega versus Asuka and Kairi, the newly reappointed Kabuki Warriors. After Bayley had a nice promo backstage with the Damage Control, talking about how now Bayley wants to enter the Royal Rumble so she can go after the World Heavyweight Championship from Rhea Ripley, and the Kabuki Warriors are going to go after the Tag Team Championships, which I kind of agree with, because I think it's the way to make the titles a little bit more relevant again. Because when you have Asuka onto a championship, it's instant credibility. But they faced Mia Yim and Zelina Vega. They gave out to their new entrance music, which I wasn't a fan of. Midway walking down, they got jumped from behind because Mia Yim and Zelina Vega don't have entrance music, and pretty much dominated in this match before Asuka and Kairi Sane took the W. Vic, we'll start off with you. Your thoughts when it comes to these four competitors.
I don't know. I mean, listen, when Bayley said the whole thing about all the gold, it reminded me of when her and Sasha Banks had all the gold. I think she's definitely trying to do that again. I agree with you when it comes to putting the titles on the Warriors to give it relevancy again. However, who are they going to face? That's the thing. Who are they going to face? Who's there aren't any other credible tag teams. So like putting it on them will probably, maybe get some merch sales, maybe sell some belts. But I got a feeling that's about it. So now to continue the storyline with Damage Control, I wouldn't be surprised if they put belts on everybody, and then Dakota Kai is the one who basically takes Bayley's place, right? Because that promo was very interesting.
I'm starting to think that maybe she is transitioning to being how severe is her knee injury? She's been injured for a while. Maybe she's not coming back anytime in the immediate future, so she has to transition into more of a managerial role.
I mean, no, because the thing is that either she's going to be a manager or she's going to be a wrestler. Because the thing is that if she can't wrestle and she's hurt, then they're going to have all the belts, and maybe Dakota Kai will be a manager. Who knows? But it looks like they're just trying to put a belt on everybody the way they did the Judgment Day. Because clearly it works, But at the same time, this is one of the reasons why I feel that the girls need a mid-card title. Because if they're gonna do something like this, because look, when they did it during the TV era, during the Thunderdome era, when Bayley and Sasha Banks did it, it worked. It was really good, mind you. I bought the T-shirt and sold it for like 3 times the price. But anyway,
Bayley and Sasha.
Wait. Hold on a second. Which shirt?
The gold shirt when Sasha Banks and Bayley had all the belts, and then they made a T-shirt out of it and all of that, and like.
What?
They had the Raw Smackdown championships as well as the Tag Team Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
But anyway,
you need to put me on this resale market of WWE T-shirts, Vic.
I think he knows how to. He is definitely the man when it comes to that. Big Daddy Cool, your thoughts on these 4 women?
I'm gonna be short. I love Zelina Vega, and that's it.
All right, I had a feeling. That's how I was waiting on you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the final segment of SmackDown. And we're going to talk about possibly the injury of Charlotte Flair and what that has to mean for Royal Rumble as well as WrestleMania. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review. We'll be right back.
Do you want to see MJF lose the belt? I don't want to see MJF lose. Not yet. Not yet.
I mean, can we be frank? What else does MJF?
I think you've been frank for the past 20 minutes.
What does MJF have to prove knowing he's hurt? Like, are we getting 100% MJF? Or are we just getting I'm getting by the match MJF? Like, why have a champion that's not 100%?
I don't know. I mean, I think MJF definitely is probably the biggest selling point right now in AEW.
Selling point or not selling point, you got to look at it like this. Would you rather have a guy that was 100% healthy where you don't see him wrestle once a month, maybe twice? Or would you rather have a guy that can sell merchandise and still cut promos and not have to wrestle?
I mean, MJF can cut any promo, though, and he's must-see TV.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is he doesn't necessarily have to wrestle.
He doesn't.
No,
he doesn't have to, but he should wrestle. That's his
he
job.
Should, but
he's not Roman Reigns.
If he can't wrestle, why force the guy? He's hurt, bro. Just face it, he's hurt.
But I don't think he's incapable of performing, though.
Bro, every time you watch this guy wrestle at the end, he's at the press conference, limping in there, eating pickles, saying that he's crying, saying he's hurt. What else do you want the guy to do? Draw you a picture with crowns? He's hurt. The guy's hurt.
But it's a minor injury. He'll be fine in time for
minor injury.
Long Island at World's End. I don't understand the problem here.
Let them make you milk it and say that it's a minor injury. They're going to say that, bro. Trust me, they're going to say that.
Oh my gosh.
That is the AEW Review Show, which you can watch for those two each and every single Wednesday immediately after AEW. This is the Unpopular Review Raw and SmackDown edition. Executive Sultan Vic, as well as Big Daddy Cool, Mike Knox joined us earlier. Please make sure that you're liking, loving, and sharing this to all your wrestling timelines and groups, and subscribe to us at Unpopular Review Wrestling on YouTube and Unpopular Review Entertainment on YouTube as well, as we try to do bigger and better things. Big Daddy Cool, Vic, are you ready to talk about Charlotte Flair? Thank God this is after Mike left, so I have to hear that yelling. But apparently she's gone for 9 months. I've been saying on this very program that the money match at WrestleMania was going to be for the WWE Women's Championship. It's going to be Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. This, of course, now is going to be taken off the table. Do you see somebody able to take that place of Charlotte Flair? What do you do with Bianca Belair if you're booking it at WrestleMania? Big Daddy Cool will go with you.
What do you do? Well, I didn't see what you saw, so I can't pivot from Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. No. I actually think that the pivot was and I don't know if so. I think that they were leading towards having the four horsewomen reconnect to fight Dakota Kai led
Damage Control. That would not work.
I think that that's where they were going.
Rhea and Bianca.
Right. And so I think that's where they were going with the four horsewomen to fight Damage Control, the new Damage Control. But with Charlotte being out well past WrestleMania, I think that messed things up. And so last night, I wonder if the promo between Damage Control was a slight pivot, because they were building the story of Asuka, Kyrie, Io, even Dakota, not really kind of like respecting Bayley. Like she was like, you know, like in high school when like you in a clique and then like you fall out of favor with the clique. So like everybody treats you like the infidel. Like that's how they were treating her. Mm-hmm. But last night she's like, you know, the lead, and now she's talking about how she's going to go after the Rhea's title. I thought that was a hard left turn. So, all right, we'll see where that goes. But I think that had to do with Charlotte Flair getting injured.
I agree.
Vic agrees. Chris, what do you think?
Oh, that's all he had to say. I was waiting for him to go to a little bit more with it. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't think it was going to be the four horsemen versus Dakota Kai. Even though Rhea versus Bianca Belair is another big match, but I really think it needs to be Rhea and Becky at this point. But more to my point, Becky being on Raw doesn't have to do anything. But I do believe, to answer Z's question, that this does possibly lead to Sasha Banks. I think Sasha and WWE are definitely talking. And I think they're close to working on a deal. If this hasn't happened already, where they agreed on when you're coming back. which is going to be big. One way or the other, Bayley's going to be out and Sasha's going to be in. But I definitely see what Steven's talking about from last night, where they took that shift, because last night was the first time since Asuka joined Damage Control that there wasn't a tease of her still being kicked out. They seemed like they were one coherent unit that were together, and Bayley was in charge. It looked like it. It looked from the promo. It looked like in the backstage talk. It looked like when she came out there to interfere in the match. Like, hey, they're all on the same page. And that might have to do with Charlotte being injured. They're going in a different direction. Maybe it's going to be Bayley and Bianca at WrestleMania. I don't see Io walking into WrestleMania as the champion. I just don't see it. I see her losing, and I see her losing, and I see her losing that championship to Bianca Belair. It's just, where do you go from here? Because Bianca's faced so many people and beaten so many people. I don't want to see them face each other again at WrestleMania. The Charlotte match was a money match for me. The main event tonight, however, was Randy Orton versus Jimmy Uso. Randy Orton won. That's not the story. We all knew Randy Orton was going to win. Solo was about to come out there and attack Randy Orton. What's his name? L.A. Knight came out, attacked Solo Sikoa, and then after just hitting him and throwing him somewhere, thought Solo was dead. I don't know why. And decided to just walk down the ramp and just talk to Randy Orton. Just so nice. So just have a comfortable conversation before he got attacked by one tribal chief. Roman Reigns went in there. They get into a battle. They I call him Z again. LA Knight went in there, got attacked. I don't know why. Because I keep looking at his name right here. But anyway, long story short, as the Bloodline, who looked the most dominant they've looked in quite some time, it's amazing what Roman Reigns coming back can do. That's when you see AJ Styles make his return and attack the Bloodline, sending them off to. You can tell that the last half hour, they realized they had a lot of time on their hands. One, if you really watch the show, Randy Orton's entrance was longer than usual, and Randy Orton has a long entrance, but it was longer than he was taking his sweet ass time. You can tell. And then after the match was over, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline decided, just, hey, look, we know we're going to sell this phenomenal forearm and these punches and kicks in the head, and just stay here on the ramp and not move for 10 minutes. Yeah, because that's all they were doing, right? Just stand there looking menacingly. Before what the speaking point of this whole segment was and this whole night was AJ Styles attacking LA Knight. Vic, we'll start with you. Your thoughts when it comes to that whole ending 20 minutes of everything.
Well, we've been waiting for AJ Styles to come back for a while, so it was a nice little return, and seeing the phenomenal forearm and all of that. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, truth be told, there might be a tag match with Solo and like AJ Styles and Randy or something. LA Knight is still in the mix because of Crown Jewel, I think. I'm curious to know why LA Knight is still in the mix around Roman.
I got an idea about that.
They might revisit that and give it to LA Knight, because I think the guy's over. He's selling a lot of merch. I see a lot of LA Knight shirts. This thing, everybody knows it, you know what I mean? So he might be the guy. Who knows? I mean, look, bottom line, this whole thing is pretty exciting because there's a lot of directions where people can go, all over the place, really, and not to go back to it, but I'm kind of sad that Charlotte Flair is going to miss WrestleMania 40. Of all people, she shouldn't miss WrestleMania 40. Hopefully they figure out a way to put her in the mix, right? But, they're setting up for something big, real big. And whoever it is that it's going to be, I mean, look, like Randy's not going after a belt. AJ Styles ain't going after a belt. Maybe LA Knight, maybe. But this whole segment right here is just that they're pretty much just showing like, yo, everybody's mad at Roman. Everybody. Drew McIntyre's mad at Roman. AJ Styles is mad at Roman. LA Knight is mad at Roman. Randy Orton is mad at Roman. Everybody's mad at Roman. Eventually it's going to be all hands on deck to get the belt off of this guy. And I got a feeling that in the end, and it might be WrestleMania 40, but I got a feeling that in the end, Jimmy's going to be the cause of this. Because Solo's been the cause of a lot of people losing their stuff. But I got a feeling that Jimmy is probably going to put the bug in his brother's ear or do something, because this is definitely going to be interesting. But now my rant is over because I talked too much. And that's funny. They just say
I'm waiting for Chris to toss it over, but I guess I'll just jump in here.
Yeah, just jump in. Just jump in.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. No problem.
Sound
Don't
like
worry,
Bad
Chris.
Guy Jack. You sound like Bad Guy Jack now. Go ahead.
I'll take it from here, Chris. You know, I'm interested. Last night I saw it, and it took me a while to put it together. Like, why would AJ Styles attack LA Knight? Why? Like, first off, this dude looks shredded. I don't know. Everybody gets injured by Roman Reigns and comes back shredded. Like, I wish Roman Reigns would knock me the fuck out so that way I could come back shredded. But everybody. So LA Knight, if you remember, when AJ Styles got injured, it was around WWE Fastlane, right? And he was supposed to tag team with John Cena to face Roman and Solo, right, Chris? Do I got that right? But he got injured, and who took AJ's spot? LA Knight. And then LA Knight took that spot and translated it into a world title shot, universal title shot at Crown Jewel. So maybe AJ, as we'll find out next Monday, or probably sooner because they recorded next week's SmackDown last night. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before the promo leaks. But I think AJ Styles is pissed with LA Knight because he took his spot. So we're going to see at some point LA Knight versus AJ Styles. But the question is when, because as Vic pointed out, there's a lot of people in line for Roman Reigns, a lot of people. So are we going to see like a triple threat, a four-way for, you know, who's going to fight Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble? Again, I think it was key that Roman told this man last night, Randy Orton, he said, bro, you've been gone 18 months. Get in line, my man. Everybody's lined up for me. Get to the back of the line. But what way to get to the front of the line if he knocks out AJ Styles, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, all in a fatal four-way, right? Or anybody else for that matter. So we'll see. I mean, Drew McIntyre is a Raw guy, right? So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to go after this Universal title at Royal Rumble. I think after Royal Rumble, we're going to see it's Cody. But how do you get to Cody? How does Cody get there is the real question.
The Elimination Chamber is how Cody's going to get there. Because that's the best way for him to get there. Because he already won the Royal Rumble last year. There's no reason I haven't won 2 years in a row. CM Punk can win this one. But I will say a fatal four-way possibly at the Royal Rumble between Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. It's a possibility. The cameras did not do a good job of showing it, but AJ Styles was probably upset at LA Knight because LA Knight put his hands on AJ Styles in the ring. AJ was staring him down in that pose on the ropes. So he's like, you, I could probably go out there and get you, but I'm going to stay right here and let you know I'm coming after you. And LA Knight shoved him out the way. AJ got upset and clotheslined him, but the cameras didn't catch it. So,
really? I missed that.
Yeah, if you go back and watch it, you'll see LA Knight go like this. And then the cameras pan to Roman doing like, hey, you. And then when you come back, AJ is in the back of LA Knight, and he looks at his arm, and he just turns him around and clotheslines him. I'm not saying that's going to be the underlying reason. What you said could possibly 100% be facts, but that was the cause of it right there. But I do believe that that it should be a fatal four-way. The only problem I have with fatal four-ways, I think fatal four-ways are fine, but the only problem I have is I feel like all fatal four-ways should be elimination style, and they're not. It's sudden death, and I think it takes away when it's sudden death. It's triple threat, that's fine for sudden death, but fatal four-way, my opinion, should be elimination. But I thought it was great. I think AJ Styles did look jacked, but I think most wrestlers, when they come back, actually look in the best shape of their life because they're trying to make a comeback, and that's all they do is work out. Then there's, and I think Mike Knox said this, after a while, their physique typically will deteriorate from when they first come back because now they don't have as much time on their hands because now they are wrestling, they are training more. Shout out to AJ. This is the best he's ever looked, in my opinion. He actually looks like a threat, and that was one of the things I always did not like about AJ. Is I felt like he was always kind of small, but I overlooked it because he's that good at what he does. What were you about to say?
What's up with all you sizes? Yeah, Mike Knox shitting on Mello. Like, getting all sizist about AJ Styles?
I've always been a size guy when it comes to wrestling. I just feel like you have to look the part if you want me to. If I'm flipping through channels, I am more likely to see Braun Strowman and be like, oh, look at that guy. That's impressive. Or Jade Cargill, oh, look at her. She's impressive. But when I flip it through channels, I see Zelina Vega. I know you're a fan. I'm sorry. I'm not usually switching unless it's just, oh, she's pretty. What's she doing? Or for the male, I'm a fan of Mello. I'm a big fan of Mello. But if I'm flipping through channels or I see Adam Cole, baby.
Right. Nate, go ahead. Go ahead. Name more AEW guys. Go ahead.
I can name the NXT guys.
I know, but here's the thing, though. But add the Miz to that as well.
But the Miz actually, okay, so I can agree with what you're saying, but the Miz is actually more, those are all small guys. More like a wrestler than Mello to me.
I know why.
You're saying that Mello should wear tidy whities instead of the long pants?
No, Mello needs to grow about 3 inches. Okay, he's short. He's short. It's hard for me. You put the Mello on Smackdown, right? And you put the Mello that we saw last night against Grayson Waller, who also I'm a big fan of, but needs to get in the gym. Just saying. Dominic Mysterio, big fan of Dominic. I've said that so many times. Needs to get in the gym, right? But if you put Mello in the ring with Roman, come on, man. Did you remember the Mustafa Ali versus Bobby Lashley matches? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, knock it off.
Who?
You can put Adam Cole with Roman in the ring.
Yeah, you make AJ Orton or McIntyre's height, which is 6'5", 6'6", respectively, right? And AJ will look like one of the people we talk about all the time. Z, like who would you build? Who would be the wrestler from the ground up? I say Drew McIntyre. Some people say Randy Orton. AJ would be in that conversation if he was a little bit taller. And in my opinion, AJ a little bit taller is Drew McIntyre.
Back in the day, like in the 80s wrestling, there used to be a person that would go in the ring and like grab the wrestlers like ring attire, like the Macho Man's like big cape and stuff. And Ric Flair's
Mello
robe.
can do that.
Yeah, I was about to say Adam Cole can do that because that's the only way he'd be looking right in the same ring as Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he can get a world championship.
Gentlemen, we reached the end. Your thoughts on the wrestling week before we get into these award shows with award categories, which we're going to unveil and announce today for Thursday's award show. But your thoughts on the overall week of professional wrestling. Vic, we'll start with you.
It's a fun time. It's a good time. It's the end of the year. Everybody's just waiting on what's gonna happen and blah blah blah. We're all just excited about the Royal Rumble because it's at this point the Royal Rumble is like a holiday, So this week is just more sizzle to the steak. So let's keep on with the sizzle.
That's right. I will say that this was a really great week for professional wrestling. On Monday, you got CM Punk. You got probably what is arguably Seth Rollins' best promo in his career versus CM Punk. That was Monday. They hyped you up for WrestleMania. That's 4.5 months away. They hyped you up for that. On Tuesday, you heard rumors that WWE was going to meet with Warner Brothers Discovery to take Raw to Warner Brothers Discovery. That's big. You had NXT. Good show. On Wednesday, you had Chris Jericho and Omega look drunk in the ring, and you disgraced the Von Erichs by putting them in the ring with, putting them backstage with Danhausen. And Chris, what does Danhausen do?
I'm not sure that he curses him.
He curses people. So How fucking insensitive. But that's AEW for you. Thursday. Nothing really happened Thursday. Oh, no. Thursday. Well, this is what happened Thursday. Liv Morgan got arrested. Liv Morgan. We didn't find out till Friday night. Vic just found out right now. Liv Morgan got arrested. She got arrested.
He could have found out last night if he followed us on Unpopular Review on our Instagram where we broke that news. But go ahead.
That's right. Liv Morgan got arrested. She'd been carrying, the hash, the weed, and a hybrid of weed. But I definitely think that in Florida, where I don't know, everything is illegal.
It's not legal in Florida? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No, they're working on it, but they're reaching some pushback because especially here in Orlando, we were still considered a tourist area, and family friendly. So we a lot of people don't think it should be legal here, but it most likely will in the next year or two.
Yeah, and then Friday night you got this. So this was a great week of wrestling, great week of professional wrestling. And for my New York people out there watching, I just want to say this last part. Last week, Keith Lee, not Bearcat Keith Lee, but the food critic Keith Lee came to New York and he had a salmon chopped cheese, and New York was torn asunder by this man. And it only helped me remember one thing, that AEW is the salmon chopped cheese of professional wrestling. Thank you.
He said that joke in the chat, which led with nothing. And he was determined that he was going to get some response for that joke. So he had it for you all here today, this afternoon. It's probably the only reason why he agreed to be on the show. But real quick, I do want to talk about something that Steve mentioned, and I completely forgot to touch base on it. One, he didn't mention this one. Karrion Kross did a promo saying, hey, I know I lost last week pretty easily to Bobby Lashley, but change is coming. You don't know how close it is, but it's coming. I know I lost every feud since I've been back.
For 2 years.
Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, everybody. It's the only person I beat is former Andre the Giant winner, Madcap. But it's coming.
TikTok, I lost my clock.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say that WWE gets petty and says, hey, Warner Brothers, I have no problem going to TBS or TNT. There's another wrestling show you have on those channels, though. Yeah, we have 3. Oh, there's 3? I thought it was only 1. They got to go. What do you see happening to All Elite Wrestling if they lose their television rights to TBS and TNT? Vic, we'll start with you before we get the big finish with Big Daddy Cool.
See, here's the thing. WWE costs more money and for them to put out there, and then they're more concerned about the NBA. Right? So it really all depends as to, in my opinion at least, it all depends on as to how much money they have left after the NBA. So if they do go with WWE, I think that they might end up putting AEW on a lesser channel, like on Discovery or something like that, where and probably have both. Who knows? You know what I mean? If they got the stretch for it. If AEW doesn't get anything, then clearly somebody else will pick them up and make it happen. It just reminds me of the days when WWE went from USA to TNN, and it was in TNN for a little while and then back and things like that. I don't think that these things necessarily kill the show. They just make people switch onto a different channel. And then here's the other thing, I don't think that kind of thing is a big deal anymore, because 90% of the time it's a streaming platform. You have an enormous amount of the people that pirate the whole thing, and you know what I mean? It's that, as long as you have access to the show, that's really all that matters. I don't necessarily think that the branding and the level of which channel and what network and and all this really matters to the fan base. I think it really matters to the people, behind the scenes, and how much money they're going to get and what the deals are and what the terms and conditions are and things like that. And that's because TV necessarily isn't a thing anymore. And then the other thing with that is that how long are these deals for? Because you see how the SmackDown deal was for 5 years. That 5 years is running out. You know, it's not going to be something like the USA Network where they have it for 30. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal because the content is there and they're going to get people to keep producing it. And plus, AEW is not like in the position of ECW where they're seen as too risque or somebody else won't take them and somebody else doesn't necessarily see their value in their content. So, you know, but at this point, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes have solidified the fact that WWE is just in a higher level. But that doesn't take away from people wanting to see all elite whackness, as you would call it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is the death blow to AEW. It's over. Let's be real. Vince is the guy that taught everybody. This man taught everybody about these non-compete clauses. We're gonna cripple our competition. And there's no one to blame for the current state of AEW more than just this idiot right here. It's this idiot's fault. He could have very well shut his mouth and been below the radar line of WWE. Remember a couple of months ago, he went to Twitter and called HBK and Shawn Michaels bald assholes? Remember that? I remember, and I'm pretty sure they remember that. This man should have shut his fucking mouth and not mentioned WWE's name. But no, he can't help himself. And so now they coming for him. They coming for him hard. Right now, ratings is slumping in AEW. It's trending down, while the rest of professional wrestling, the WWE is trending up. Right? So you got his major stars flopping, disappearing. Young Bucks took their ball and went home. Omega, diverticulitis. He's out. Adam Cole, MJF, their own champion is out. Like, morale sucks there. So now they're going to lose their channel? To what? Where's he going to go? He could have put Ring of Honor on WB, but the man was too dumb. He's a cuck, is what he is. He had a chance to talk to WB and get in the door because WB was looking for some sports, live sports. And they said, let's go with wrestling. He was the first dude to talk to WB. And he said, no, I'm loyal. I'm a loyal hoe, is what he said. I'm going to be loyal to WB Discovery. Meanwhile, WB Discovery is talking to the other guy. They were the ones that were going to try and pick up WWE before, what's this guy? Ari, the guy from Entourage. The UFC dude.
Yeah,
Endeavor.
Mike knows
Endeavor. WB Discovery was in the running for taking all of WWE. But Vince chose to go with Endeavor. And now they the TKO group. I own shares, by the way. And if they can't go anywhere else, you know Triple H and Nick Khan, they're going to be like, listen, WB, listen, Bugs Bunny, listen, DC Comics, kick this bum out here. We'll bring our stuff. We'll fix you up. Especially Vic. Vic pointed something key out. NBA negotiations is going on. If they lose the NBA, TNT, TBS ain't, all they got is hockey. So they're going to need a big player back. And who's the big player back? WWE. Let's face it. Yeah, Dynamite is number one on Wednesday nights. Sometimes. It depends on if Vanderpump Rules is on. But WWE has double and sometimes triple the ratings that Dynamite has. And you're going to put WWE, there's so much cross-branding and cross-promotion. Warner Brothers Discovery is creates content, TV content, movie content. They can take a guy like Roman Reigns and put him in a movie and spread wider. Who can they take from AEW and
Jack
put
Perry.
them in a movie?
Jack
Who?
Perry.
Jack Perry?
Yeah, that's Luke Perry's son.
Oh, you know what? You're right. When they make Creed 5 and they need a vanilla midget to pop, they're going to put Jack Perry in the movie. They're going to pop Jack Perry. Hey, here, I need you to a squash match between.
They can do a movie in 90210.
And Vic, they ain't got nowhere to go. That's the problem. You know the only channel that will take them on cable? The History Channel. You know why it's the History Channel, Chris? I know you know, Chris. Because what do the History Channel show you all the time? Fucking bombs dropping all over. Bombs. Boom. What bigger bomb than AEW to put on your TV? That's how AEW is going to survive. They're going to limp along to History Channel where they show you nothing but shit blowing up.
They could go on Sci-Fi or something.
Sci-Fi is owned by NBC. They can't go to Sci-Fi.
Oh, word.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our last commercial break. When we come back, end of the year awards. Oh my God, History Channel.
Like and subscribe, everybody.
You're watching Unpopular Review.
I've never seen anybody killed before. If you testify, I'm going to put you in the last place on earth that Vince would ever look for you. Look at me. I'm a penguin.
I'd like to offer a great big hi there and hello to Sister Mary Clarence.
This stuff is terrible. It tastes like...
There are 3 vows every nun must accept. The vow of poverty, the vow of obedience, and the vow of chastity.
I am out of here.
You will join the choir. The choir?
We're terrible.
I'd rather sing than do anything.
It's better than ice cream.
It's better than springtime.
Better than sex.
Best Actress of the Year, we have Halle Bailey, Margot Robbie, Angela Bassett, and Rosario Dawson. So looking forward to that one. And then for Best UPRE Host of the Year, we have The Next Doctor, See the Superior, the Executive Consultant, James, and one Mike Knox. For Best Comic Book Movie, we have Spider-Man Across the Verse, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. For Movie of the Year, Barbie Movie, Creed 3, Oppenheimer, and Across the Spider-Verse. For Best TV Show, Loki, Snowfall, Power Book 2, as well as Wednesday. For Funniest UPRE Host, we have Vic, E-Boogie, the Executive Consultant, James, and Mike Knox. And for Best UPRE Show, we have UPR Battles, The Movie Reviews, and the Trio of Destiny. Yes, Steven.
Wait, how is Steve not in the funniest?
It says funniest UPRE host.
Oh, my bad.
I'm shocked. Hold on a second. The Flash is nominated for Best Movie? Flash.
Best comic book movie, yes.
Best. It should win for Worst Comic Book Movie. This man, Flash, ain't saved one fucking person in that movie.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. He saved a couple babies in the first 5 minutes. And then after that, everybody else gets washed. Everybody this man tries to save in this movie dies. They added that baby scene at the last minute because they were like, hold up a second. Wait a minute. The Flash is a superhero. He ain't save anybody. Everybody died. Everybody died at the hands of this man. Everybody.
I gotta see
except for
movie.
these babies.
Nonetheless, those are the categories for UPRE. Let's talk about some of the categories for UPRW. Some of these were already announced on Wednesday at the AEW show with the man they call Benny and Dan the Man.
Dan the Man.
Wrestling Moment of the Year, Jay quits the Bloodline, CM Punk returns, and Roman being Cody. For Tag Team of the Years, we had the Creed Brothers, FTR, MJF, and Cole, and the Usos. And for PLE/Pay-Per-View of the Year, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Backlash, and All In. The 3 categories that we're going to announce right here for you all today for watching the Unpopular Review Wrestling channel is the Match of the Year, which is Cody versus Roman from WrestleMania 39, Rhea versus Flair from WrestleMania 39, Swerve versus Hangman Adam Page from AEW's last pay-per-view, which I forgot the name of it. So I'm sorry for that. And then the Usos versus Kevin Owens is Sami Zayn for WrestleMania 39. Male Wrestler of the Year, we have Cody Rhodes, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, Roman Reigns, and Swerve Strickland. And for your Heel of the Year, we have Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Roman Reigns, as well as Christian Cage. Looking forward to a lot of these categories. We'll announce some more on Monday coming up. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, on Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. sharp, we have the Unpopular Review 2023 End of the Year Awards, honoring the best in TV and film, pro wrestling, as well as entertainment, with pretty much every single one of the Unpopular Review hosts from wrestling as well as entertainment. Maybe Unpopular Review Sports, if any of y'all know them, will be joining us coming up on Thursday, hosted by Big Daddy Cool as well as CE the Superior. Your thoughts on anything as far as the awards before we wrap up and say goodnight?
I don't know who the Creed brothers had to pay to get onto this list.
Had to be Creed brothers.
These guys haven't. I don't know who paid what, but there's so many tag teams, male and female. How did Bishamon did not make this list, but the Creed brothers did is beyond me. Y'all know Bishamon. Add a like to this video if you know Bishamon and you think Bishamon should have been.
We want likes. Okay, we don't want people to take likes away because they don't know who Bishamon is.
Nobody knows the Creed brothers. Who knows the Creed brothers? Name both Creed brothers. Go ahead. Name what's their first name?
Yeah, Butch.
Thank you.
I was about to tell you, it's Bush and Julius. He interrupted before I said.
You could have said Jack and Jill. I would have known because I don't know those guys' names.
It's Butch and Julius.
Butch and Julius, whatever. Those guys are bums.
Yeah, it is.
Look, even the chat doesn't even know who names is. Julius and Brutus.
I said Butch. Yes, Julius and Brutus. Did I say Butch? I meant to say Brutus. That's my. Look, I know who the Creed brothers are. I've been a fan of the Creed brothers for years. I think.
It's obvious. That's obvious. Chris. You don't even remember the guy's name.
You threw me off. You threw me off. I've been a fan of the Creed brothers for years. They're a phenomenal tag team. They're your next tag team champions. How many Creed brothers shirts do you own? Right. I don't wear wrestling shirts anymore, so stop.
Right. I've seen you with the Miz shirt.
Yeah, I stopped wearing wrestling shirts. So
right after the Creed brothers.
No, I never bought a Creed brothers shirt. But if I still did, I would have no problem buying a Creed brothers shirt. I think they're a great tag team.
Sure,
great tag team.
Yeah,
Vic, do you have any thoughts on the award show?
I think it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to Thursday and that award show. Should be fun. Should be fun. Join us.
There's going to be live drinking.
Yes.
Liv Morgan might join us because Liv Morgan she might be fired by the end of the week. Who knows?
She won't be fired. She'll be fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
she's got a 30-day suspension.
Yeah, it should be fine. Thanks so much for watching us here at Unpopular Review. For Mike Knox, for Big Daddy Cool, for Vic, I'm the Exec Consulting. We will see you right here next time. Make sure you follow all of our social media outlets, including our YouTube. If you don't have already subscribed, get somebody else to subscribe. We appreciate everything you do for us. But once again, thank you and have yourself a wonderful day.